if you are weak in an area, it's very vital that you seek out resources and information that's going to help bridge
Yeah.
that gap. We don't know everything, and we have to be and we have to, that's something that we have to admit to ourselves.
Right.
The health is holistic, it's a holistic thing. And we get things, I feel like God put I know that God put everything on the earth for us to sustain ourselves. Like your vitamin C, your hyaluronic acid, your niacinamide, your azelaic acid, your kojic acid, all these heavy hitter ingredients, right? So we took it a step further and we infused our products with algae from the sea, with thyme, shea butter, magnolia extract, sea moss. Oh my gosh, turmeric. Just so many heavy hitters. Exactly. And to your point as well, you said that people tend to make it about race. Systems make it about race either. That's why we have the systemic racism. You harness the power of nature and botanicals for anyone and everyone. And that's what I want to develop, like an inclusive brand.
Right.
Like a lot of skin of color are left out of dermatological and epidemiological studies. In addition to when you go to care facilities or you go to Target or your drugstores, a lot of things on the market for quite some time have not been complementary to skin of color items.
The days that you don't feel like keeping going are the days that you make the most progress, honestly.
Honestly, you need some more entrepreneur friends.
Yeah.
Like you need people that are able to identify with you at your highest highs and your lowest lows and everything in between.
Like being the CEO doesn't mean that you have to do everything, but it does mean that you're responsible for everything.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Oh, new entrepreneurs are over-mentored and underfunded.
Right.
And I was like, oh my gosh, like you said something like that.
And that's Simone
So this-
Spence, by the way. She's one of our mentors and judges that was on the blocks.
I just hit so many roadblocks, like trying to find funding. And it was to the point, LeBaron, to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna have to, I knew this time was coming.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very diligent with my finances, but I learned financial literacy from my mom.
Right.
And I just really had to delve into my financial literacy bag and thing happened because a lot of programs are just not, a lot of Black people, we just do not know about programs out there for us.
Right.
So I want to not just sell, but just really educate.
Right.
And I try to do that like via social media, but with my subscription as well. Because once you go to skincarebyken.com, you and put your email address, and I send tidbits and newsletters and relative information, a chain of emails that you guys will get.
Welcome to Credit Chats, where we deep dive into the financial maze and uncover how everything from your daily coffee to your dream home impacts your credit score. I'm LeBaron, and thank you for joining us. Each episode will explore the ins and outs of personal finance, hear from experts, and answer your questions. So tune in, take notes, and transform your financial journey with us. Let's get started. Invited to another Credit Chats. We have our Just a Tip segment, which will give you a credit tip to help you in your everyday life. You want to trick the credit card company into thinking you're paying more than you are? Here's the move. Make 2 payments each month. One right before your statement closing date and another before your due date. Why? It lowers your reported balance, reducing your credit utilization and giving your credit score a little bump. It's like sending your credit card company a love note twice a month. So you want to find out more about this? Put it in ChatGPT, research it, do something about it, and use that tip to boost your score. Hey, Credit Chats people, we have Kenneth McLaurin here of Evolution Skincare by Ken, and he is a graduate of the Mississippi School of Arts and the University of Southern Mississippi. He majored in broadcast journalism with a focus on health communication. During his studies, he produced a news segment on chronic illness prevention and interned at WDAM, where he hosted Kenneth McLaurin in the Morning. His career in public health included roles as a health communication specialist and public health analyst, focusing on cancer prevention and wellness. Now, Kenneth channels his passion into Evolution Skincare, offering luxurious plant-based products designed to empower confidence and promote mindful skincare. Welcome, Ken.
Thank you so much, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for accepting the invitation. And we are excited to dig into that Evolution Skincare by Ken. So what inspires you to start your Evolution Skincare business? And what was the initial journey like in bringing your vision to life?
Oh my gosh, man. Everything started with the pain aspect, how people like, turn my pain into purpose. Yeah, it literally started there. I'm a rural Mississippi native, 601 stand up, baby. Yes, I'm born and raised in Mississippi and came from a family with like really good skin, no woes, no complications
Mhm.
whatsoever. So by the time I got to ninth grade, puberty is hitting and all that good stuff, you're progressing. And I started getting pimples here and there, and it just progressed into cystic acne. And as I said before, coming from like rural areas and not even just this isn't exclusive to rural areas. This is exclusive to our country. A lot of skin of color, not just black people, but skin of color are left out of dermatological and epidemiological studies.
Right.
So we don't know what products place well with our skin
Mhm.
when we have like hyperpigmentation or we have skin woes or like that we're just left simply left out of the studies. So I took it upon myself to do extensive research on products that really played well with my skin. And, found out that salicylic acid is the number one fighting ingredient.
Uh,
And not only did it cure my skin, but it also helped with the resurfacing of so I have no scarring.
nice.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I said, when I get older, one day I'm going to develop something for me and for people to look like me and have like an inclusive thing because I'm all about like natural products and
Right.
I'm all about like harnessing the power of nature. And yeah, that's how it came about, man. I honestly thought this would come about later on in life.
Mhm.
I thought in my young, tender mind, I thought it was a whole lot of money
Mm.
to establish a skincare brand and company.
Right.
So I did the traditional go to college and get a good job and all that good stuff. So I, in my mind, thought I would be in the government sector for a while because
Uh-huh.
I had the corporate experience and I was like, well, with the governmental experience. And I thought I was going to work, climb my way up the proverbial ladder and leave one agency and go to the next. But one of my best friends actually, we have this travel group pretty much, and we travel the world. And one of my friends was like, and have you ever noticed, bro? Like everywhere we go, people talk about two things about you, and it's your voice and your
Yeah.
skin. I was like, yeah, bro, thank you so much. He was like, no, I'm for real. And he was like, because our pharmacy cohort, he and his wife developed something and it blew up into this really big thing.
Right.
And they really know skincare knowledge, like no prior knowledge.
Mhm.
And being that this has been your life and your wheelhouse and your expertise for a while, you already have an upper hand. So can I connect you? And I was like, Negro, what kind of question is that? That me today. And this guy was so gracious and pretty much like providing like a blueprint and
Right.
a roadmap of how to get it up off the ground, what areas to look for. And yeah, man. And it just took off.
And that is
Here I
instrumental.
am. It's so crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that bridge to the gap is instrumental in shortening your time to success. Kudos to him to even notice that in you, because a lot of times people notice stuff in us that we don't notice in ourselves. And let's go back to that 20-cent word you said there, salicylic acid. I don't even know how to spell that. Dig into that. What is that?
Yeah. So salicylic acid.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
salicylic. There we go.
Yeah. So it's pretty much it's like I said before, it's the number one acne fighting ingredient. It acts as an exfoliant. So you have like salicylic acid. So it's a BHA.
Okay.
It's a beta hydroxy acid, which helps with resurfacing your skin. But thing about salicylic acid is it's the number one acne fighting ingredient. You have other things like clindamycin and glycolic acid and lactate, all these other things. But I know it gets crazy, but that's why I'm here to. So I've done all of the grunt work for you guys.
Clearly.
Take this down into like layman terms. It can be crazy,
Right.
but it's just an exfoliant that helps with acne
Yeah.
fighting ingredients.
So my eyes are glazing over, just like when I talk to people about technical aspects, things like, because I'm really technical. I'm in IT in the morning and stuff like that. I mean, my 9 to 5, sorry. My 9 to 5 is IT. When I start talking about stuff like that, and sometimes even when it comes to financial things, people's eyes glaze over, and
Like,
yeah, and they're like, explain that to me again, because I'm also into real estate investing. So when you talk about ARVs and getting lending and all of that stuff, people are like, how much do I make?
Just give me that acronym. What are you talking about? Please acknowledge for me, brother.
So
Yeah, yeah.
thank you for doing the research and breaking it down for those of us who don't have the affinity to do that or the time. But
Yeah.
yeah, and that those were the first two things I noticed as well when we met on the blocks. Because again, this is a blocks connection, and of course your voice and your skin was definitely the two things that stood out. And I think you heard that multiple times when we were in Oklahoma, that your skin is amazing and your voice it commands.
Man, you could not have me like all giddy on this camera, Lil. Like, you cannot have me all giddy on this camera.
All
Thank you
right.
so much.
Let's get on to the other questions then. All right. Can you share some key challenges that you faced in developing and launching your skincare products, and especially in such a competitive industry?
Oh, I don't even know where to
So do we
start,
have time?
honestly. Okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna go I'm gonna start with the basic,
Right.
honestly. And I don't even I hate to make things about race, but a lot of
Let's
times
get into it.
when people yeah, and I hate that because you have some because I have a diverse group of
Mhm.
friends and I do a lot of because sometimes like races aren't necessarily comfortable talking about like race
Right.
relations. I'll try to have it as a safe haven with my friends. But I also do a lot of I love to read and research as well. And I know a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, why do sometimes skin of color or I'm sorry, people of color, or more specifically black people make things about race? Because typically when you peel the layers back, it is about race, unfortunately. And that's my segue to the hardest thing has been just like lack of a blueprint that's like
Mm,
exclusive to me, like funding. And just like Simone said, honestly, when you're starting out, new entrepreneurs are over mentored and underfunded.
right.
And I was like, my God, I said, you said something when you
Yeah.
said that.
And that's
So
Simone
it's
Spence, by the way. She's one of our mentors and judges that was on the block. So shouts out to Simone Spence and the Capital
shout out to
Navigator.
Simone Spence, Capital Avenue, baby. But no, and I just hit so many roadblocks, like trying to find funding. And it was to the point, LeBaron to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna have to I knew that this time was coming.
Mhm.
I'm very diligent with my finances. Look, I'm not like you're the credit guru, but I learned financial literacy from my
Right.
mom, and I just really had to delve into my financial literacy
Mhm.
bag and thing happen because a lot of programs are just not a lot of black people, we just do not know about programs out there for
Right.
us. And sometimes because they exist, right?
Mhm.
Um, but they're not marketed to us, so we're not privy to that information.
Right.
That has definitely been a struggle. And I went to I don't know if you are familiar with him, but Tristan Walker, the owner of Bevel, and I think Procter and Gamble was the first. I think he was the first person of color that they invested in, or something like that. Procter and Gamble out in Silicon Valley, and he even talked about and his audience members I went to a fireside chat last year, and a lot of people expressed their concerns about those resources just not they're there, but they're scarce, and we don't know where to look, so I literally had to do a whole lot of research on my behalf, and I'm not mad at it because that's knowledge that I've garnered myself that's gonna progress, it's gonna sustain me,
Makes
and
you the
I
thought
will be
leader.
able to and I'll be able to reach back and bring someone else
Yeah.
forward because mentorship is very important
Right.
to me.
And we talk
But
yeah, so
yeah,
I was just gonna say when you talk about why does it always have to be about race and why do people make everything about race when and until you're in that space and you don't understand that everything is about race when until you're put in the space where people make it about race. And it's okay, it's not me that's making it about race, but I do notice things that are going on.
yeah,
And if you've never been like, and just say, just for us being in the government, that we had government jobs, and there are things that we can talk about from being in the government that nobody else really knows about if they haven't been in the government. So if you're on the outside looking in, you can say it's not always about government. But at the same time, if you're on the inside of it, you're like, okay, there are a lot of things that you don't understand about the government that I do understand because I've been in it. So yeah, that's just a micro aggression that can happen and people don't understand what they don't understand.
exactly. And to your point as well, when you said that people tend to make it about race, systems make it about race. Either that's why we have the systemic
Right.
racism. So many people are denied loans,
Mhm.
and it just
And who
it's
set
like
up these systems? The people
yes,
that have the
yes,
bias.
right.
So, Kent, how do you stay connected with your customers and understand their needs when it comes to skincare, especially those who may have tried other products without success?
Mhm. So I will have on my website this component called Connect with
Mhm.
Kenneth, where I'll provide skincare consultations, product consultations, just anything that you have, any questions regarding because skincare it can be a lot. And
Right.
our skin is very different. Like I could be sensitive, you could be
Mhm.
normal, somebody could be combination, but the list goes
Right.
on. So I try to connect and communicate in a way where it's easy to digest and understand and try to make everything a one-stop shop,
Okay.
right? Of course, we can collaborate and ask a question like via Instagram or Facebook, but I want to get my customers engaged into just booking or at just emailing because I really want to bridge the gap
Yeah.
because it goes beyond beauty, honestly.
Right.
Of course, we want to look nice because our skin is our face is like a direct representation of the world. But it goes beyond that. It's really about being mindful of what you're putting on your skin because it's the largest organ of, on our body,
Right.
and everything affects everything. So I want to not just sell, but just really educate.
Right.
And I try to do that like via social media, but with my subscription as well. Because once you go to skincarebyken.com, you and put your email address, and I send tidbits and newsletters and relative information. It's actually starting on Monday, actually,
Okay.
chain of emails that you guys will get. And as
Okay.
I said before at the beginning, it's just going to be easy stuff that's easy to digest
Mhm.
because it doesn't make sense for me to talk in skincare language,
Right.
and it doesn't resonate with
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
It was like my work is not done. Makes
Yep.
sense. So,
And that was one of the things that I had to get to my VAs as well because I have a VA doing my drip campaign. But I was like, it has to be less than a 2-minute read because nobody's going to read all of that. And not only that, but it has to look like it's not paragraphs. It has to be like laid out in a manner that's like not overwhelming for people that don't like to read. So
like a wall of words. Like no one wants to read a wall of words.
exactly. Yeah, and that's the same thing I'm doing with my drip campaign when it comes to credit tips and things like that too. But the podcast was something to also give people more of a visual audio type of component when it comes to the tips that they're looking for or the information that they're looking for when it comes to credit. Because there are very few people out there that like to read. I guess I wouldn't say that like to read, but there are very few people that will choose reading over other stimulations when it comes to content. That's great that you got that going on. See, what motivates you to continue evolving your skincare brand and how do you ensure that innovation remains at the core of your business?
Oh wow, man. You guys actually motivate me when I encounter anyone that is so gracious to either compliment or ask
Mhm.
questions. Almost that wakes me up and actually sustains me. And my company was birthed on innovation
Right.
because there's several skincare brands out
Mhm.
there. So in my mind, I was like, when I develop something, it has to really not coincide with what else is on the market. I said it can be similar to it, but at the same time, I want something that's innovative and something that's great. And I would even before I develop my brand, I would find products that complementary to my skin.
Mhm.
I wanted something robust
Right.
and amazing. I became very health conscious. I want to say like 2019. It started during undergrad, but it was 2019. I really kicked it up into high gear and taking sea moss and just educating myself on superfoods because I really feel like it's not a lot of times like what we put on our bodies, but everything radiates from the inside out as well. So that's what people don't talk about as well. And that's something that will be a part of my email drip campaigns because the health is holistic. It's a holistic thing. And we get things, I feel like God put well, no, I know that God put everything on the earth for us to sustain ourselves. So that's why I was like, I want that component of my skincare. So that's why, in addition to the advanced skincare essentials that you will find in skincare brands like your vitamin C, your hyaluronic acid, your niacinamide, your azelaic acid, your kojic acid, all these heavy hitter ingredients, right? So we took it a step further and we infused our products with algae from the sea, with thyme, shea butter, magnolia extract, sea moss. Oh my gosh, turmeric. Just so many heavy hitters. And that's how we maintain our innovative spin. And it doesn't stop here, man.
Yeah.
Like I play upon even more herbs and botanicals as the brand grows.
Because everything's connected. Like you said, nothing is an island on your body, and everything affects everything else, even the chemicals that you breathe in. All of that stuff is connected. And I'm excited to see what partnerships you get from that stuff too. Because of course, because everything is connected, you're like, okay, skincare and gut health and all even cleaning products. So like all of that stuff is related, and for the people that specialize in those different in the different places of the things that, like just what we talked about, getting the partnerships to where it's okay, all of this stuff is related. So like we have all natural solutions for everything now. And we have partnerships with everybody that does these all natural solutions. So you can recommend somebody that needs cleaning products that's already got your skincare and is like, I want to bleed this over into all the aspects of my life. So definitely looking forward to that. So, how do you help clients who have struggled finding effective skincare routines trust your products and believe in the results of your brand?
Oh my gosh. So I feel that I have the most sensitive skin on the planet, but a lot of people feel that way. So what I'm doing is to back my claims and to back because I don't want you guys to hear it from me, baby. I want you to hear it from the source. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a clinical trial. So I've inducted various skin tones and skin types. So we have people of color, we have Caucasian skin. I think one person is Hispanic as well. Because my theory is if you harness the power of nature and botanicals, it can be for anyone and everyone. And that's what I want to develop, like an inclusive brand.
Right.
Like when you see me, you see a melanated brother, right? You see a dark skin. And so first and foremost, I have to create something for me and for us because, as I said before, a lot of skin of color are left out of dermatological
Right.
and epidemiological studies. In addition to when you go to care facilities or you go to Target or your drugstores, a lot of things on the market for quite some time have not been complementary to skin of color either.
Right.
So even when you go to stores and you're looking for something. So I had to first create something for people that felt marginalized
Mhm.
in a sense or felt left out or unincluded rather. But I was like, I'm all about clean ingredients and I'm all about nature. So how do I have this be for my people, for me, but for everyone else? And I was like, it's botanicals.
Right.
So I was like, I was like, how can I substantiate these claims? And I was like, oh my gosh, clinical trials,
Mhm.
trying it on a variety of different skin tones and skin types. And I think I'm in week 2 or 3 of the trials
Okay.
actually, and received stellar feedback, man. Not from just the texture of it, the viscosity, which refers to the thickness of
Yeah.
it, or the efficacy, or the physical aspect of it, but it was the efficacy that I was, like, blown away. Everyone's, "Oh my gosh, man, it feels so good on my skin," but it also gives me that nice finish, that nice glow.
Yeah.
I'm not oily, I'm not dry, like, I haven't had any adverse reactions, no skin irritations. Yeah, man, so those are the criteria, that are near and dear to me, and I am keeping a close eye out
And
on
that's big.
because we say the devil are in the details, so
Yeah. That's big. Yeah, but yeah, the clinical trials are big, especially with getting that credibility with different people and then people that look like the people that you're trying to get to.
yes.
Because representation is everything.
Yeah. No, it really is. It really is.
Yeah.
And especially when you have had that representation for quite some time, it means everything. And I am one of few black men with a brand. And I like the fact that I'm able to look at other black men that have brands out that I can lean on to, of course, support, man. Like, it's amazing.
Right. Yeah. So What is your process for educating clients on the importance of consistent skincare routines, and how do you inspire those who have lost hope in achieving their skincare goals?
Wow. The first part, can you repeat the first part of that question? You said, how do I
What's your
about,
process for educating clients on the importance of consistent skincare routines?
oh,
And how do you inspire those who have lost hope in achieving their skincare goals?
yes. A big thing for me is education,
Mhm.
but not only educating, but backing what I'm saying up with evidence, right?
Right.
Evidence-based things, because you're just putting out information. It's just merely information.
Mhm.
My goal is to, throughout my email drip, my campaign, is to provide resources and backing for that as well. But not only with my email campaigns, but on socials as well.
Right.
And in the aspect of people that have lost hope, I'm just gonna direct them to when the clinical trial is over and they see these impeccable results from everyone,
Mhm.
that's going to set the tone and hopefully inspire them. And if they need some more inspiration, baby, look, I'm on the web.
Yeah.
Just like I said, I really want to do these consultations to connect with my audiences and in socials as well. So I want to have them be able to feel comfortable conversing with me
Yeah.
on because I'm gonna start doing lives.
Oh, good.
Gonna
Good.
start doing lives just to break those barriers and those conversations.
Good deal. And as an entrepreneur in skincare, what financial and business systems have you put or are putting in place to ensure sustainability and scalability?
Oh my gosh, man. That's so funny. This is one this although I said I'm financially literate, just for my mom, like my mom, when my parents divorced, my mom, yeah, man, put on her superwoman cape and she told me at a young age the power of financial stability and financial literacy. But honestly, like I know that's because we have to know our strengths and our weaknesses. Well, we have to identify our strengths. and weaknesses. So I know that's not my forte, my strong suit, because I want to create a very sustainable business. So I took it upon myself. My best friend yet again told me about the Rice Foundation here in Atlanta, which is the Russell Innovation Center for Entrepreneurs. It's geared on building Black businesses. That's their motto. And they are fixated on the educational aspects of it as well, whether it deals with financial literacy, the financial aspect of it, or what have you. So I'm looking to gain a whole lot of resources and knowledge from the foundational building and the scaling aspect because power of mentorship is very important, as I said before, to me. So I know that I know how to save money and I know how to allocate funds. But as far as like finances as it relates to running a bit, it's completely different. And it's very, I feel like it's, what do you call it when it contains multiple layers?
I guess it would be complex, but I think
Complex. Yes.
dense.
Just very complex. Yes. Yeah. Because there's multiple layers when you want to create a sustainable business.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're rounding in here. And of course, we're going to get your socials and all of that stuff. And of course, I'm going to put them on the screen and stuff like that. But as the final question, what advice would you give to aspiring skincare entrepreneurs, especially when it comes to financial planning and building customer trust in the market?
Oh my gosh, man. Definitely do your research first. Um, Cultivate a sense of community because oftentimes you feel like you're alone or you're overwhelmed and you're on this battlefield fighting for your life. So I would definitely say the first step though would be education. And there you go. There it is. You have to know what ingredients you want to go into your products. You have to be very well versed on them, but you also have to, as you said before, what sets you aside from your competitors? What sets you aside? Like, why should I purchase if you're going to develop a brand, like, why should I purchase it instead of another brand? So it's the educational aspect of it, but it's all, but a big part of it, LeBaron, is that community cultivation. Cultivate that community because you're going to learn more from your peers than, I'm not going to say that, but I feel like because on the show, I learned so much from the judges.
Right.
Very grateful
Right.
for them. But you guys, my peers, man, when I tell you I've gotten so that the value is, and I don't mind connecting with people.
Right.
I don't mind connecting with an aspiring brand owner because I was there once before, and I'm still in the beginning stages, honestly.
Right.
And even when I excel, as I said before, mentorship is very near and dear to my
Mhm.
heart. So I don't mind. I do not mind helping, providing resources, because a lot of things are not pretty, in early developmental stages. But I'm here to break all those walls down
Mhm.
and help because people have helped me along the way as well. So I would say one, um, your education, two, your innovation, and three, your community cultivation. Look, that kind of look, I feel like I'm Kendrick Lamar, little brother over here in a sense, baby. Look,
Kenneth
I'll
Lamar.
just my middle name is Kendrick, so I got the root name of his name.
Okay.
So
Okay. But you mean community in the sense of the people that you look to give you advice and things like that, not in the sense of community like the people that are your customers. So
no, not your customers, like people that are on the battlefield with you, people that are that day to day, that
yeah,
nitty gritty entrepreneur circle, that sphere that you need is going to fuel your fire and
yeah,
it's going to help you on those days you feel jaded,
right,
those days exhausted. It's funny. My one of my best friends was like, "We are your supporters. Like we love you, we believe in you." But he was like, "Kenneth, honestly, you need some more entrepreneur friends.
yeah,
Like you need people that are able to identify with you at your highest highs and your lowest
yeah,
lows and everything in between. Like, nope, that's what type of community you need." And it's so funny, man. That's what the block was for me.
yeah,
Man, I have to give you your just due and your due diligence and your flowers, man. You move mountains pretty much to make it to my launch
oh,
soiree here in Atlanta, man. No, I'm
yeah,
serious. Because you were wanting to come and you're like, oh, I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm busy. And just like other people as well, you coming down, man, like that really meant to see my community there,
yeah,
to see supporters there, to see my educators there, and to see community all in one
yeah.
place, in one
And
setting
there were a lot of
was
Bloxers that came too. Like when you see the picture, and I'll put the picture up. So the picture here shows how many people came out to support you. And it was a great event too. Like the food was
uh,
good, the conversation was good, and we got to connect again with the people that we met on season 17. Cause I don't think there was anybody else that was part of other seasons that were there, right? I think it was just season 17.
no, I think it was just our season
Okay.
actually.
So yeah, season
Yeah.
17. I think it was like 12 or 13 of us. I don't remember what it was.
It was a blessing,
But
man.
yeah,
Oh my god.
it was great, and again, like you said, that community is paramount to your success, and that was one of the things that Wes told us while we were there, that we needed to mastermind with the community of entrepreneurs that we have, because it's gonna get you through the days when you think, I wanna give up. And they'll be like, "No, you can't give up. You're too close." And and to your point as well, like I was on another entrepreneur show last week. I went to Dallas after
Oh,
yeah,
really?
after the hurricane, like me and my wife, we flew to Dallas because
Yeah.
I'm on a show called Breaking Barriers. Like it's not out yet, but Raquel May David, she invited me to the show, and it's for entrepreneurs as well. Like not just in the financial space, but just entrepreneurs. And then while I was there, she was saying how she was like, "You started this podcast and you are kicking ass and taking names." She's like, "You didn't come to play games," but I didn't see myself as that until she pulled it out, told me point blank. She was like, "Your podcast is good and the production is good, and I struggle to find others that are at the level that you are at when you just started." And just hearing that thing, because you don't see that when you're outside looking in, I'm just like, all right, I need to get this out here because that's what Wes told us to do. We need to do a podcast so we can get eyes on it. And the information, like the stuff that I've been through, because I've been in media for a little while now, and I started off with no information. I didn't know how to do any of this.
Really?
None of it. I didn't know how to do any of it. And then my church, the church I was part of at the time, one of the guys, he showed me how to do some of the edits and things like that. And then I took it because like us, we take whatever knowledge we have and we magnify it. So I went,
Right.
researched, did a lot of other stuff. And it's to the point where people ask me to do a couple of things for them now. I don't have the time to do it all full time, but I'm pretty good at doing the edits and whatnot. But just taking that and then seeing it manifest in the way that it has now to where I can do the stuff myself. even though I don't have to, like I could pay somebody to do it as well, but it takes me less time to do it. And I know my vision. So, but going back to the point, like you said, hearing that and people showing up for you and people telling you like, you're doing well, just keep going. Cause the days that you don't feel like keeping going are the days that you make the most progress, honestly.
Yeah. Very much, bro.
Yeah.
And I want to add one tidbit as well in my little rhyme and my little rap I said earlier,
Bar.
because you asked me as well regarding like the financial aspect as it related to business. And I was like, I have a whole lot of experience with that. And I have people like you that I can set consultations with, and I have the Rice Foundation, right?
Yeah.
And then we have well, so I do want to encourage people as well. If you are weak in an area, it's very vital that you seek out resources and information that's going to help bridge that gap. My brother here, this girl right here, this is a force. But my brother right here, he's special. This is your
Yeah.
arena, your sphere. When I get to those like heavily in my finances, I'm gonna hit you up.
Right.
I'm gonna ask Simone for guidance. I'm gonna consult with the Rice Foundation as well. We don't know everything, and we have to be we have to, that's something that we have to admit to ourselves.
Right.
You may be good at a lot of things. Some things we're lacking in. And that's the beauty of having that community where we can lean on one another, because in areas that you're weak in, I can help you. In areas that I'm weak in, you can help me.
Right.
So yeah, that's a very vital thing as well that I want people seeking to build an empire or anything to keep in their frontal lobe as well, because knowledge is power as well.
Right. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. And just like you said, when there are subjects that I don't know about, I'm gonna seek out that counsel. I'm gonna go to YouTube University. I'm gonna do all the stuff that I need to do to at least have a dangerous enough to talk about it aspect of it. And everybody doesn't need to do that for everything, because for us as entrepreneurs, being the CEO and a CEO, the E is everything when you're a solopreneur. Yeah. So
Everything.
Chief everything officer, you don't have to do everything on your own. Like you can outsource a lot of the stuff, and then realizing the value in outsourcing those things and getting your time back so you can get the high level view. Because being the CEO doesn't mean that you have to do everything, but it does mean that you're responsible for everything.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Because there is definitely a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Ken, again, thank you. But tell everybody where we can find you. What are your socials, things like that? Your email,
It was
your
Barry,
website.
this is yes. I want to thank you first and foremost. This has been a very good opportunity. It's been so insightful and informative. Thank you so much for having this platform for us.
Yeah, thank you.
Be able to, no, I'm serious, for us to be able to come here and just have general organic conversation.
Right.
So I love what you're doing, and blessings to your business,
Thank
brother. Like I would want to see this just blow up, and it will. I'm manifesting it right now for you. So I want you to receive it. Yeah, this is so amazing, man. But yeah, you could please, guys, if you go to www.skin, not www. Where you haven't said it in a while.
It still is on the beginning, like colon slash.
That is hilarious. Yeah, but you can find me at skincarebyken.com. Just enter in and this is how it looks right here.
I'll put it up on the screen.
Okay, perfect.
This is how it looks.
Enter in your email and you'll be in our subscription base. And you can also find me on Instagram at Evolution Skincare. That's AVOLUTION Skincare. And Facebook as well as Evolution Skincare.
Okay. And again, we'll put it up on the screen. But thank you guys for tuning into another Credit Chats. This has been Kenneth McLaurin of Evolution Skincare.
Yes, baby, accompanied by
and your niece.
Honorable Joy herself.
But Ken and his niece have been here to give us exhilarating conversation and burps. So thank you, Ken, for being here. And this has been another Credit Chats. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Whoa. Were you about to leave without hitting that like and subscribe button? I mean, you'll be back, right? So why not save yourself the hassle and just do it now? It's like putting your keys by the door, or packing your lunch, or packing 3 days before your flight and not the night of. It just makes life easier. Oh wait, did you just do it? I knew you had it in you. I appreciate that. See you next time. Same place, same channel. And remember, everything you need is inside of you.